Ano?
Good day, I'm Gerald Mukab R. I will discuss the 7 programming paradigms. Number 1. Imperative paradigms are programming paradigms that focus on giving instruction or command to the computer. Example 1. Procedural programming. This paradigm involves breaking down a program into a series of procedure or functions. It emphasizes step-by-step instructions and the use of variable to manipulate data. Example of procedural programming language include C, Pascal, and Fortran. Number 2 example, object-oriented programming, OOP. OOP is a paradigm that organizes code into objects, which are instances of classes. It emphasizes the use of objects to represent real-world entities and their interaction. OOP languages such as Java, C++, and Python allow for the creation of objects with properties and methods to perform specific tasks. Procedural programming is not a paradigm itself, but rather an approach within the imperative paradigm. Imperative programming is a style of paradigm that focuses on giving instruction or commands to the computer. Procedural programming is a specific approach within the imperative paradigm that organizes code into procedure or functions. Example, structured programming. Structured programming is a paradigm that specifies the use of structure control flow constructs such as loop and conditional to create well-organized and readable code. It promotes the use of procedure or functions to break down a program into smaller, manageable modules. Languages like C, Pascal, and Ada follow the principles of instruction programming. Modular programming is a paradigm that focuses on dividing a program into separate modules or units. It's responsible for a specific task. This module can be developed independently and combined to create the complete program. Procedural programming is often used within modular programming to define the behavior of each module. Languages like Fortran, COBOL, and Modula to support modular programming concept. Object Object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm that focuses on organizing code into objects, which are instances of classes. Here are two examples of object-oriented programming language. Java is a widely used object-oriented programming language. It allows programmers to define class which serves as blueprint for creating objects. Java supports encapsulations, inheritance, and polymorphism, which are key principles of object-oriented programming. It provides features like classes, objects, inheritance, and interface to model real-world entities and their interaction. Python is another example of an object-oriented programming language. It supports the creation and manipulation of objects through classes. Python allows for the definition of classes, inheritance, and polymorphism. It also provides features like encapsulation, data abstraction, and dynamic typing, making it versatile language for object-oriented programming. Declarative programming is a programming paradigm that focuses on describing what needs to be achieved rather than how to achieve it. Here are two examples of declarative paradigms. Function programming. Functional programming is a declarative paradigm that treats computation as the evolution of mathematical functions and emphasizes immutability and avoids changing state and mutable data. Languages like Haskell, Lisp, and Erlang are examples of function programming language. Logic programming. Logic programming is another declarative paradigm that focuses on defining relationships and rules rather than explicit instruction. Programs are written in terms of logical statement and requires Prolog. Prolog is a well-known logic programming language that uses a set of rules and facts to derive logical construction. Function programming is a programming paradigm that treats communication as the evaluation of mathematical function and avoid changing state and mutable data. Here are two examples of functional programming languages. Haskell is a purely functional programming language that is known for its strong static typing and lazy evaluation. It emphasizes immutability and use of higher order function which can take other function as argument or return function as result. Haskell also support pattern matching and recursion as fundamental concept. Lisp is one of the oldest function programming languages. It is known for its homogeneity, which means that code and data are represented in the same format. Lisp support dynamic typing, recursion, and higher order function. It also provides powerful features like Marcos, which allow for code transformation and metaprogramming. Logic programming is a programming paradigm that focuses on using logical rules and facts to solve problems. Here are two examples of logic programming language. Prolog is a widely used logic programming language. It allows programmers to define logical rules and facts and then query the program to find solution based on those rules. Prolog uses a declarative approach where the programmer specifies what needs to be achieved rather than how to achieve it. It is often used in areas such as artificial intelligence and natural language processing. Datalog is a subset of the Prolog language and is specifically designed for database, query, and rule-based programming. It is used to express and query detective database. Datalog program consists of rules and facts, and queries are posed to the program to retrieve information based on the defined rules. Mathematical paradigms refers to different approaches or framework used in mathematics to study and solve problems. Here are two examples of mathematical paradigm. Algebraic paradigm. Algebraic paradigm focus on a study of algebraic structure and their properties. It involved the use of symbols, variables, and operations to represent and manipulate mathematical objects. Algebraic paradigm include various branches such as linear algebra, abstract algebra, and algebraic geometry. This paradigm provides a framework for solving equations, studying patterns, and understanding the properties of mathematical instruction. Geometric paradigm emphasizes the study of shape, figure, and their properties and involve the use of visual representation, diagram, and spatial relationship to understand and solve mathematical problems. Geometric paradigm include branches such as Euclidean geometry, analytic geometry, and different geometry. This paradigm provides a framework for studying angle, distance, shape, and transformation in mathematical space. And that's all. Thank you.